Welcome back everybody into another daily recap. Today is the 30th of August and it's a Tuesday. And as always, we're going to have a look at what happened on gold during New York and overall what happened on gold today. So as you can see, this is the start of the Asian session. For the Asian session is the first time that I'm looking at it. And you can see that price basically failed to break above to make a new highs. Yesterday we reached during the New York session the supply area that we already talked about, and we saw a huge rejection and a continuation bearish. As you can see, we never actually reached the supply area, but during the Asian Open, price made a top week and then went bearish. As you can see, even further down with the this is overall Asian, and we're coming towards London session. London Open, we are at already below the previous demand area that is now turning supply. This could have given you some trade ideas for continuation down, for some quick scalps. You can see already on the left hand side, and actually let's put it like this. You can see that the price reacted to these previous highs on the left. There's probably a PSA here that on the 50 minute doesn't really match, but it's absolutely a price sensitivity area here and there. That's where price reacted. But you can see that price never reached a full demand area, and especially most importantly, after a very aggressive bullish candles, price rejected like at 10:30, which is like 4:30 Eastern, rejected the same PSA, the same lows at 1736. We're going to have a look at it on the 1 minute, and rejected very strongly, made a sort of fake out and then went down below, very aggressive bearish. You can see that this is all the late London session with already the Asian closed, so that's where there's less volume, less range, less trending movements. And we come into New York Open. New York Open is not the strongest, but we're going to have a look why on this. I saw this movement on the 1 minute, and then we have the aggressive bearish. We have some fundamental reports coming up, and after a quick bounce again from these previous lows from the demand area, we have exactly the a good consumer confidence report that gave some juice for price to continue down all the way back where to the next demand area. This is the demand area that I already talked about yesterday, charted up since very long time, and that's where exactly we had the bounce, very clean on the 1 minute as well. So let's have a look. Let's delete all this and have a look at what happened during Asian. As you can see, this is the Asian Open making a top week. The candle is making a top week and is failing to break up, is failing to make new highs. Let's put the PPL. As you can see here, the price action, the candles are also failing to break above the PPL itself, and is showing a rejection at essentially is a new supply area, minor because we're not at a big one, but still giving confirmation of the sells. Then what we were talking about was these previous lows that were being respected. This is all the Asian session where the price is bouncing from the demand. This is all good for some quick scalps, 20, 30 pips, 25 pips, but still you see that the price action is going aggressively bearish. You can see here, you can even of course understand that the price is failing to make new highs. If you want to see an uptrend, you want to see the price make a breakout, a retest here, and then continuation up, but that's not happening. Multiple times the price action fails to make a new high, so you can even use this as a PSA. And yes, we are bouncing from we are bouncing from these lows. Let's check the PPLs exactly even from the PPL exactly, but every time the bounce is getting smaller here. that means that the bulls are not able to sustain, they don't have enough liquidity to sustain an uptrend. So you can even draw a sort of trend line showing you how the price is wedging against the support, and usually that means that there would be most likely a breakdown, not a breakout, but a breakdown. And as you can see here, you can reconnect already with the next one, and you have an aggressive, this is pre-New York, pre-London, sorry. You have, if you remember what I talk about, usually it's the vacuum to the supply area, strong aggressive. Look at the size of the candles, that don't show anything. This is a vacuum of liquidity because we are approaching the end of the session and the end of the hourly candle, and the start of a new important session, which is the London one 10 minutes before. We have the end of the pullback exactly at the supply area, making a new lower high on the downtrend with the wedge. You can expect volume and momentum towards a trend. So that's where you can find your first aggressive entry over here, and that would be 45 pips, yeah, 50 pips basically. And you can even have a scalp entry when the price breaks and retests these previous lows. As you can see, price is failing to make new highs, so that's where you have one and two very clean bearish candle where you could enter for quick scalps. This is already 30 pips, of course, because it's not the best entry, it's not a sniper entry, but it's still a good entry, safer entry. But you have to understand that the range is smaller. We are not anymore, we're already 15 pips from the demand, from the supply, sorry. So you can't expect anytime the full range to be filled. But anyway, you have this entry, then what you have is exactly the same. So this is 45 minutes later, price is still making a double top, I'm sorry about that, still making a double top at these previous PPL and PSA. We are matching the trend line. As you can see here, we can do it anywhere we want. We are matching the trend line, and that's where we have another quick scalp. But you can see, identify that the price is now making a new higher low. That was something can be interesting now because I haven't done it yet. It's okay, but why the price reacted here? No, not this one. Why did it react over there and not at the demand? Why? Is there any liquidity? So let's put it in blue. So then we're going to see if going on the left, there's some price sensitivity area to look for. But what we see is that the price is now making a new higher low, and that's where we can have a quick bullish movement. There's not much. We have a quick break and retest. That's what we're talking about. So if this one was the last lower high, this one was the previous to last, you have a clean, what I was talking about, a clean breakout candle, a retest, and a bullish confirmation. So that's so you can have a safe entry. That would be 30 pips, clean 30 pips on the bullish side. Anyway, sorry, okay, I can remove this, I can remove this, I can remove this. Still price, this is our PSA from the Asian session basically, and pre-London. And we can, of course, this is not a perfect line, you can use the PPL as a reference. At first we have a very aggressive rejection at exactly at this previous highs. That's a 17 pips, but we still have a bounce and a new higher low being printed. This is strong, this is a very aggressive pin bar at a very important PSA, is signaling that the price can likely reverse, because we are at an important supply area, and that's a very nice candle setup. After that, you have the safest entry is either this bearish candle or this one. This bearish candle can give you the confirmation that the price look at the size of the bearish compared to the small bullish. So price is not making this, is failing to break above, so that's most likely that the supply area will hold, and that's a nice 40 pips scalp. And now we are coming into the whole pre-New York area and consolidation period. You have this order block that is being created, and you have these multiple lows, and that was the reference that I was looking for this candle. So if you are here, that's 70 minutes after the New York Open. Usually I don't like to enter, I didn't take this trade, but usually I don't like to think about trade ideas before the COMEX Open. But as you can see, what I was looking for was multiple rejections at this previous PSA. It doesn't have perfect at these lows, can be at this recent PSA. You see that the candles are showing you exactly what I'm talking about. Look at these candles, showing you that the strength of the bulls is very thin, and that's where you have your profit. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's easy and it was immediate, but you have the first, we make a new low, then we retest but still fail to make new highs. That's a good confirmation for holding your stop loss, and then you have further confirmation and the price goes, this is like 40 pips, 40 pips on the downside. Price, yes, is not the cleanest, but you never, I mean, if it's an intraday trade, this is more of an intraday trade, your supply area is never broken, never. And that's when with the 10 a.m. candle, so not even with the New York Stock Exchange, the new 4-hour candle, as you can see, we have the reaction, as I was talking about London. If you remember, this is the pre-London pullback 10 minutes before that. That's where you have the opposite. So this is 10 minutes before the new 4-hour candle, which is a very important. Price fails to close at these previous lows on the left hand side and starts the pullback. So this is the pullback for the new 4-hour candle, which is 26 pips, and it ends here. So it makes a new lower high. But anyway, this strong supply is holding, and I want to remove this because it's okay. You can see even the 10 a.m. candle never breaks above the supply area. You can see here, this is exactly the same concept. This is just 5 minutes, 5 minutes before the new 10 a.m. candle. You can see the pullback all the way back up. Look at the size of the bullish candles and how they face a wall, because all this very aggressive bullish means that the bears are stopping, are out of the position now. They are waiting for the price to reach a better price area, which is this one, to have continuous sells. They don't want to sell from here. They want better prices, and that's where they have, and that's where they know that the orders will be filled, because it's a very busy area. You have all the buyers that can possibly jump in, thinking about the price will bounce from this supply, from this demand, and go up. And but that's where the sellers are in control. And then you have also a very strong fundamental reason, which is the consumer confidence, which is higher than expected and higher than the previous. That's a good bullish confirmation for USD, which is of course bearish for gold. And that's where you have the previous demand area. We have a slightly reactions. So this means that 1729, it's quite important. You have the break of the demand area, the retest of the PPL. You can see how clean that is, and all the way back down to the demand area. This is a clean 100 pips range. You can see here it's a clean 100 pips range with the fundamentals. Of course, this entry is the one that I saw it, so that's why I left it like this. But to show you that the price never broke above, The only drawdown was like 11 pips, but after that there was not a single threat on your entry, especially with this optimistic consumer confidence. But again, where are we? We are at a very strong demand area, and you see that the price is literally shrinking. So you have aggressive bearish candles, a lot of bearish candles, and then when we reach this level, what happens? The candles are getting smaller and smaller. Look at this, it's a clear, very aggressive, and then it's rounding up to then continue bullish. So that's a very clean, because it's this rounding up compared to the aggressiveness. It's very important because it's very visual. You can see it, how it is rounding. You can look at the candle bodies, candle wicks, how they are rounding up. And I'm going to leave this because I like it. Like this, I like it. So it's a clean show you a clear signal that the price is possibly reverting. Of course, the price can go here and bounce back down, but why I'm looking for buys? Because this is a demand area on the high time frame, so that's why I'm looking for buys. And you can see that the price goes to 53 pips and is getting rejected at this PPL, the same as before. And of course, it's also getting late, so that's why we don't have much more juice on the buys. So after that, I think we didn't have much. Let me just check. Nothing special. So that's basically it for today. I showed you, let me do like this. I showed you the New York, I showed you the sells that of course were not the best timing, but were the best supply area. And this entry can give you the profit for only one reason. The one reason is that the entry is good. It's not when the price is breaking below. So the entry is not here, as I did a lot of many times, but the entry is at the top. Of course, an aggressive entry could have even been like this. First candle, a second candle rejecting, the entry could have been here. That would have been even more space. But that's very good, and it's a clean 60 pips. Let me just do like this. Tack. Let me take out this, take out that. Okay, and now I want to see with you guys if there's something that we can see about this level, because as you can see, I placed it now. I didn't know what was that compared to this demand area where it was already charted up. So let's go on the 15-minute. There you go. that's exactly the level. I mean, of course, that's the level that we were talking about, but that's very clean. That's why if you go on the left, that's where we have the rejections exactly from yesterday. Yesterday pre-New York, that's where we had this rejection, and that's exactly the level. So very good, and that's very useful to understand. This is something new that I'm doing, and it's very good. It's also looking at the 22nd of August. It's something that is giving us not an edge, but some more understanding of the markets, being always ready to see what is happening, what we are looking at, compared to being just passive and just, I don't know, looking at something. So that's where I created the resistance, but that's the demand. But that's very interesting to understand it. Of course, it's not a big area, because yes, it held, a few times, but as you can see, with the bearish movement, it was never retested. Well, we almost retested this area, so I think also that if I place something here, which is this PPL, we have something on the left hand side, and based on this level, so you have some reaction. This is just a PPL, but yeah, more specifically that one, but it's not like it was never retested, even though today it gave some very nice rejections. The fact that it was never retested before going back down, but was retested this level, means that there was not such a big supply or the liquidity left. And that could have been even a nice scalp sells. I think that's almost that's like a 50% retracement. Can we see that is perfect? That's absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. I was trying to think about why we could have a sell here, not only because of this level, why, and I just showed you, and it's something that I just found out that it is. There it is. It's a candle bodies or top wick, doesn't really matter. That's your 50% retracement exactly here. You can put it from there, from the top to the bottom. That's exactly 50%. Absolutely crazy. That's quite mental, I gotta say. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. It's covering things every day more, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.